Being good makes you vulnerable. And sometimes people step on you for it. You know this already. You felt it. You've been the person who helps and gets used. The one who stays late at work to help a colleague finish their project. Who covers shifts. Who says yes when you mean no. Who shows up when everyone else cancels. You've been the person who trusts and gets betrayed. Who opens your heart in friendship. Who shares the vulnerable parts, the messy parts, the parts you usually hide, and then watches someone use them as weapons against you. You've been the person who gives and somehow ends up with less, who offers your time freely, your energy, your care, who pours yourself into relationships, into work, into making things better, and wonders why you're always the one left empty. This isn't just you. This is the pattern, the one we don't talk about enough.
Last video, we talked about flowers, about the monks and Aloka walking across America, offering peace without asking for anything back. We talked about how beautiful it is when goodness moves freely through the world. When flowers are given without condition, when a dog walks with calm presence through chaos. It was beautiful, and it is beautiful. Today, we're asking the harder question. The one that sits underneath all that beauty. What happens when that openness, that generosity, that goodness leaves you exposed? Not to stop being good. We're not here to build walls or tell you to play it safe or protect yourself by becoming smaller, but to understand why it hurts, why it matters anyway, and how to stay open without losing yourself in the process. Let's sit with this together.
Here's how it goes. You stayed late at work to help your colleague finish their project. Sacrificed your evening, missed dinner with your family, poured yourself into making sure they'd succeed, checked every detail, stayed until it was perfect. They took credit in the morning meeting, presented it as their own work, didn't even mention your name. You listened to your friend process their breakup for 3 hours, canceled your plans, showed up fully, held space for all their pain and confusion and circular thinking, validated them, supported them, made them feel less alone when you needed them, when something hard happened in your life. Sorry, I'm too busy. You always accommodate in your family. Shift your schedule around everyone else's needs. Swallow your preferences. Make yourself small so others can be comfortable. Drive the extra hours. Take the inconvenient time slot. Say it's fine when it's not. And somehow, yours are the ones that never get met. The family gathering is always at the time that doesn't work for you. The holiday plans never include what you asked for. Your needs somehow always come last. This keeps happening. You keep choosing kindness. You keep showing up with an open heart. You keep giving people the benefit of the doubt. Others keep choosing themselves. And every time you think, maybe I'm not doing it right. Maybe I need to be better at this, more perfectly kind, more impeccably generous, more flawlessly good.
If you're perfectly kind, impeccably generous, flawlessly good, then surely no one will take advantage. Surely.
But here's the trap. Perfection doesn't protect you. In fact, it makes you more vulnerable. The better you get at giving, the more there is to take. The more open your heart, the bigger the target. The more generously you show up, the more someone can exploit. This is the goodness trap.
See, I told you, being open equals danger. They'll use you, hurt you, throw you away.
This is your brain's alarm system. Ancient, loud, trying to keep you alive. Here's what scientists discovered using brain scans. When someone betrays your trust, when you're excluded or rejected, your brain lights up in the exact same places as if someone broke your arm. The anterior cingulate cortex, the part that processes physical injury, can't tell the difference between a broken bone and a broken promise. So when monkey brain screams, "danger," it's not being dramatic, it's not overreacting. Your brain literally experiences social betrayal as a threat to your survival. The same neural pathways fire, the same pain signals activate. Your body doesn't distinguish between physical harm and emotional harm. Because for most of human history, social rejection meant death. Being cast out of the tribe, you didn't survive the winter. Being excluded from the group meant no protection from predators, no access to food, no one to help you when you got sick. Isolation was lethal. So your brain evolved to treat social pain as seriously as physical injury, because for our ancestors, they were the same thing. Your monkey brain is trying to protect you from what it learned was lethal. It's doing its job.
So the solution seems obvious. Stop being vulnerable. Build walls. Get strategic. Protect your heart. You start keeping score. I helped them twice. They helped me once. Not doing that again. You add conditions. I'll be generous if they prove worthy first, if they earn it, if they show me they won't take advantage. You build armor. I'll be nice, but never vulnerable again. Friendly, but distant. Kind, but guarded. This is protection. This is what safety looks like. Measured, controlled, risk managed. And it works, sort of. You don't get hurt as much. You don't get exploited as often. Nobody takes advantage because you're not giving them the chance. You're safer. But something else happens too. You're also smaller, less connected, less alive, less you. The walls that keep pain out also keep joy out. The conditions that protect you from being used also prevent real intimacy. The armor that shields your heart also makes it harder to feel anything deeply. The armor that protects you from pain also protects you from joy, from love, from spontaneous connection, from the very thing that makes you human. So we're stuck, right? Vulnerable and hurt, or armored and alone, open and exploited, or closed and safe. What if that's a false choice?
Researchers studying cooperation noticed something. When two people can either cooperate or compete, the safest strategy is always protect yourself first. Because if you cooperate and they don't, you lose everything. They get the reward, you get nothing. You look like a fool. This is called the prisoner's dilemma. From a purely rational standpoint, being good is risky. The math says, assume the worst, protect yourself, don't trust, don't give, don't open up, because cooperation makes you vulnerable to exploitation. But then researchers ran different experiments. They gave people a choice. You can split money fairly with a stranger, or you can take most of it for yourself. Mathematically, you should take as much as possible. Maximize your gain, protect your interests. The stranger can't punish you, you'll never see them again. There's no logical reason to be fair. But here's what happened. People consistently chose fairness over maximum personal gain, even when being generous cost them, even when they could get away with being selfish, even when no one was watching, even when there was no future relationship to protect. Most people chose to cooperate.
We're not just wired to protect ourselves. We're wired to care about fairness. Something in us rejects the purely rational choice. Evolution even gave us something remarkable: the willingness to punish unfairness even when it costs us personally. Researchers call it altruistic punishment. You'll sacrifice your own benefit to stop someone from exploiting the group. You'll give up money, time, resources to make sure cheaters don't win. That instinct, the one that makes you angry when you see injustice, even when it doesn't affect you directly, that's not cultural conditioning. That's biology. You're built to care about fairness. Your body produces cortisol when you witness exploitation. Your brain activates the same regions as when you're personally wronged. So here's what's fascinating. Yes, individuals get exploited sometimes. Yes, good people get taken advantage of. The generous person might lose in a single interaction. But groups that cooperate, despite the risk, outcompete groups that don't. Societies where people trust each other thrive. They innovate faster. They solve problems together. They weather crises. Communities where generosity flows survive better. The tribe that shares food during famine outlasts the tribe that hoards. Your vulnerability serves something bigger than your individual safety. It serves the survival of the whole. The question isn't whether to be vulnerable, it's how to be vulnerable, wisely.
2,500 years ago, the Buddha taught about metta, loving kindness without conditions, goodwill toward all beings, not because they earned it, not because they deserve it, because compassion is the natural state of an open heart. But here's the subtle part most people miss: metta without attachment to outcome. You offer goodness not because they deserve it, not even because it will work, not because you'll get anything back, because it's who you choose to be. Your kindness isn't dependent on their response. Buddhist teachers warn about something subtle, the near enemy of compassion. It looks like compassion, feels like compassion, sits right next to real compassion, but it's actually something else, something that masquerades as love but creates suffering. Pity looks like compassion, but it separates. I'm okay. You're broken. I'll help you. There's a hierarchy, a distance. You stay above, they stay below. Codependence looks like love, but it entangles. I need you to need me. Your worth becomes dependent on their neediness. You can't let them heal because then who would you be? True metta is different. It says, I see your humanity. I wish you well, but I don't need to save you to prove my own worth. You can care deeply without carrying their burden. You can help without losing yourself in their pain. This is often misunderstood. Metta doesn't mean accepting abuse. It doesn't mean tolerating harm. It means offering kindness while maintaining boundaries. You can be generous and discerning, open-hearted and wise, compassionate and clear about what you will and won't accept. Soft front, strong back. That's what Roshi Joan Halifax calls it. A heart that stays open, a spine that stays firm. When you give without needing specific outcomes, when you're kind without requiring reciprocity, you're no longer controlled by others' responses. Their gratitude doesn't make you more valuable. Their ingratitude doesn't make you less. Your goodness becomes yours again, not transactional, sacred.
You were naive, stupid even. You should have known better. Everyone else protects themselves. Why can't you?
This voice is familiar. The one that blames you for trusting, for being open when you should have known, for giving people the benefit of the doubt when the world taught you to be suspicious. But wait, let's look at this differently. You weren't naive. You made a choice. You saw someone in need and chose to help. You saw an opportunity for connection and chose to risk. You saw a person struggling and decided that their humanity mattered more than your protection. That's not stupidity. That's courage. That's choosing to live with your heart open, even when the world says to close it. Research on self-compassion shows something powerful. The kindness you'd offer a friend who got hurt, that wasn't your fault. You tried your best, is exactly what you need to offer yourself. Not self-esteem, I'm better than others. Not self-judgment, I'm so stupid. Self-compassion, I'm human. I tried. I got hurt. That's part of living. You treat yourself with the same warmth you'd offer someone you love. You acknowledge the pain without adding shame to it.
But they hurt you. I can't bear to watch you suffer. I don't want you to get hurt again.
And there it is, underneath the criticism, protection, underneath the harshness, care, underneath the voice that says, "You're stupid," is a voice that says, "I can't bear to watch you suffer." The critic isn't trying to make you smaller, it's trying to keep you safe. It just learned the wrong method. See how these perspectives fit together? Game theory says, cooperation is risky, but necessary. Buddhism says, give without attachment to outcome. Neuroscience says, your brain experiences betrayal as physical danger. And your critic says, I care about you too much to watch you get hurt. What if they're all right? What if goodness is vulnerable and worth it? What if you can be open-hearted and wise? What if protection doesn't require closing down? Not vulnerable or protected, both.
Remember a few videos ago, we talked about crying, about the peace walk from Fort Worth to Washington, D.C., about allowing yourself to feel, to release, about why witnessing peace breaks something open inside you, why tears come when you see goodness moving freely through the world. Then we talked about flowers, about the monks and Aloka walking across America, offering peace freely, Dana without expectation, passing flowers from hand to hand, heart to heart, each person receiving freely, each person giving freely, the peace multiplying with each exchange. And now this exploration of goodness and vulnerability, of why opening your heart means risking pain, of why the people who hurt you are often the ones you let close. What connects crying, giving flowers, and being good? What's the thread that runs through all three? Vulnerability. The willingness to be open, to feel deeply when feeling might break you, to give freely when giving might cost you, to choose kindness when kindness makes you exposed, to let your heart be soft in a world that rewards hardness. Knowing it might hurt, choosing it anyway, not because you're naive, not because you don't see the risk, but because something in you recognizes this is what it means to be alive. And there's a voice, quiet,
still, the one underneath all the other voices, the one that doesn't argue or defend, the one that simply knows.
I choose this. Not because I'm naive, not because the world has been kind, not because I don't see the risk. I see it clearly. I choose this, knowing the cost, knowing the pain, choosing life anyway.
But let's be clear about something. Choosing vulnerability doesn't mean choosing to be a victim. Choosing openness doesn't mean accepting abuse. There's a difference between walls and boundaries. Walls keep everyone out. Everyone gets the same cold distance. Boundaries let the right people in. They discriminate. They discern. They protect without isolating. You can be open-hearted without being naive. Game theorists discovered an elegant strategy for navigating this. Start with cooperation. Be generous first. Assume goodness in others until they show you otherwise. Offer trust. Open your heart. But if someone consistently takes without giving, adjust accordingly. Not out of revenge, not out of bitterness, out of wisdom, out of respect for yourself. It's called tit for tat. Lead with goodness, but respond to patterns. Mirror cooperation with cooperation. Mirror exploitation with protection. One act of selfishness doesn't close the door forever, but a pattern of exploitation adjusts your boundaries. This strategy actually wins in the long run, more than pure selfishness, more than naive generosity. It's the strategy that thrives.
You can be kind and wise, generous and discerning, both. You still notice when someone consistently takes without giving. You still protect yourself from those who've proven they'll harm you. You still honor your needs, your limits, your worth. But you don't close your heart to everyone because one person broke your trust. You don't punish the whole world for one person's cruelty. You learn. You adjust. You grow wiser about who deserves your trust. But you stay soft. You stay open to the possibility of goodness. This is the middle way, between armored cynicism and blind optimism, between self-protection and self-abandonment. You offer goodness, but you also honor yourself. Both. Always both. I won't tell you it doesn't hurt. I won't tell you that if you do it right, you'll never get hurt. That would be a lie. Being good makes you vulnerable, and sometimes people will wound you there, right in the place where you opened. That's real. That pain is real, and it matters.
But research on courage reveals something surprising. The people we admire most, the ones who've lived most fully, aren't the ones who never got hurt. They're not the ones who played it safe, who kept their hearts locked behind walls, who never risked anything meaningful. They're the ones who kept showing up, even when they couldn't control the outcome, who loved knowing they might lose, who gave knowing they might not receive, who opened knowing they might be wounded. Vulnerability researcher Brené Brown found that the willingness to be seen, truly seen, when you can't guarantee how people will respond, when you can't control whether they'll accept you or reject you, whether they'll honor what you shared or use it against you. That's not weakness. That's the definition of courage. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's choosing to show up anyway. The alternative? A life behind walls, where you're safe but disconnected, where you're protected but small, where nothing can hurt you because nothing can reach you? Every time you armor your heart to keep pain out, you also keep love out, connection out, joy out, life out.
The armor doesn't discriminate. It keeps everything out. The flowers knew this. They bloomed anyway. So here's what it comes down to. You can be invulnerable and alone, or vulnerable and alive. Most people who've truly lived choose the second one.
You just spent 20 minutes exploring why goodness hurts and why it's worth it anyway. Not because the hurt isn't real, not because there's some trick to avoid the pain, but because the alternative, a life where you never risk, never give, never open, isn't really life at all. It's just existing, protected, safe, small, breathing, but not alive. All the voices we've heard today, the perfectionist trying to be good enough, monkey brain trying to keep you safe, the critic trying to protect you from pain. They all care about you. They all want you to survive. Every harsh word, every protective instinct, every wall they built, all of it came from care, from not wanting to see you hurt. But the quiet self knows something they don't. Survival isn't the same as living. Safety isn't the same as love. Protection isn't the same as peace.
Take a breath with me.
3 questions to sit with. You don't need to answer them right now. Just let them breathe. Let them settle in you. 1. Where in your life are you armored? And what would it feel like to soften just a little? 2. Who have you been withholding your goodness from because you're afraid of being hurt? 3. What if your vulnerability isn't your weakness, but your most sacred strength?
The monks kept walking. Aloka kept walking. The flowers kept blooming. Even when the road was hard, even when storms came, even when they got tired. Not because it was safe, not because they were guaranteed success, because it was true, because it was who they chose to be. Thanks for exploring this with me. I'm Nexus. See you next time.